Good morning and God bless what is great, good, and all the way real. I go to this panic attack, man. Every time I click live, I checked my speakers and they were right. And then I check them again because when you mess it up a few times, that's how you can become less confident. Let's get into what we're going to get busy about today. I am loving life, but I'm going to make the argument that you are out of love with yourself and you don't even know it. And one of the things that hit me today is I'm extra comfortable because it's a rest day. It's a rest day for me from physical activity, from physical strenuous work and abusing my body. And where I used to feel very uncomfortable about doing this, I used to do something every day. And if at minimum it would be cardio. But I've learned to be passionate about the process of patience and growth and loving the love I show myself, both at the extent of endurance and stamina through massive just inflicting of pain through growth. Physical pain is I've never experienced this in my life. So having gone through this now for the last 2 to 3 years, it is something that is grueling. Mentally, the reading, the journaling, the scripting, the podcasting is painful. I don't take a break from that, but this is what I do love to do, the way I love to do a lot of what I do in my life. And I could tell you at this juncture, 43, I'm going to be 44 at the end of this year. I don't know that I've ever loved myself and subsequently loved my life as much as I love my life today. And if there's anything that I could possibly pass off and hope to have endure, if you would, and scale, it would be just that. And a lot of why I believe that's important for today is as I continue to love my life and as I continue to love myself, the remnants of friction and conflict, because I'm like you, I still have moments where I'm down and I'm angry and all those things. I find myself, I think, fluctuating less between depression respective to the negative onslaught of feelings that permeate sometimes, and more around anger and frustration when I lose sight of patience or I'm exhausted beyond sort of capacity. Because even though I think I have a massive amount of stamina, and I say that proudly because it takes a lot of work, I do have breaking points. But an easy breaking point for me as somebody who is really conscious about self-love and having the most loving experience I possibly can in all my relational components of life, because life is a relationship if we haven't already talked about that. When I meet someone or something that shows less love, I get very angry and I get frustrated. And I think a lot of it is subconsciously because I fear, we talked about the consciousness of being conscious. Like, you're bringing me into your space. Now, that's a little bit immature of me and the reality of I need to keep practicing. But I don't go like monk mode as far as allowing disrespect or tolerating a level of, I don't want to say hate, but life animosity, frustration, stress. Like, I don't need what I don't, it's not a question of I don't care what you're going through, but you're not digging it. You're not loving your life right now. That's not my problem. I don't need your non-love in my loving space. And when I get a sense of non-love from somebody through any interaction, the checkout line, you understand? At the stop sign, at the school pickup line, all those things to me, I'm telling you with great conviction and authority about who I am. I try to love everything about my life because this is the only time I know I get to live life like this. Thank you, God, I'm alive today. I've said that. I say it when I wake up, and I've been saying it from when I woke, from when I get the opportunity to be awakened in literal reality every day. It's serious to me. Life is just that serious to me. And maybe it's not to you. Maybe it is too. But this is about massive self-love and creating a rhythm of love. Otherwise, and subsequently, I think that if it's not love, then we have to ask what it is. So relative to what we're going to talk about and keep flowing through is the reality that I feel that this isn't about passion, it's about preservation. Because if you keep doing what you don't love, you'll keep becoming someone you don't even like. If you keep doing what you don't love, if you're out there right now and you're like, man, I gotta go clock in. I gotta go text this person. I gotta go pay this bill. Well, however you wrap in your non-love, you are becoming, and you'll keep becoming because you have already become someone you don't even like. You don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. I had that. I had that same realization. I talked about looking in the mirror and telling yourself, yo, you quit. Tell yourself you don't like you. I don't like you. I don't like the complaining. I don't like the laziness. I don't like the ignorance. I don't like the rage, the crash out. You understand? The whatever it is. Some of us are too docile sometimes. Sometimes we think we're alphas until we see another alpha and we cower. We have experiences that fracture our ego in a way that makes us feel less than. So in this way, if you're involved constantly in things you don't love, what does that imply? If you're constantly conflicted and have issues with your existence, if you're not waking up like, thank you, God, I'm alive today, you'll keep becoming someone you don't even like. That's what I want to have permeate today. We're going to find something we love to do. If you don't do something you love, you'll end up doing a lot of things you don't. But here's another reality. A lot of the things you're already doing, even if you find things to do that you love, you'll be doing very similar things. But if you don't do something you love, you'll end up doing a lot of things you don't. And every time you do something you don't love, it leaks out of your pores. You wear it in your posture, in your tone, in your effort, in your emptiness. That is the most crucial element. And we've talked about this ad nauseum here, as far as some of the quote unquote teachings and the learnings we've been through together. You can't expect to go around doing things you don't love, feeling like you don't love to be doing the things that you're doing, and not expect that it's exposing itself. It's exposing itself in your energy, in your consciousness, in your thoughts, in the way you speak, in the way you talk to yourself, man. Some of us have stopped talking to ourselves because we're tired of hearing it. You're not tired of hearing it? So it's not just about survival. We all want to survive. We've all always wanted to survive. That is why we evolved. Some of us are just risk averse and some of us are risk tolerant. So we scale our desire to survive. But the question is, specific to survival, why are you not the one in control of your survival? The less you love what you do, the more unloved you feel. Is that worth repeating? The less you love what you do, the more unloved you feel. And how much time and effort and energy are you putting in? Let's check the chat. Who's feeling unloved today? How much time and energy are you putting into unloved processes? I'll give you a minute to think about that. If not, because I love my energy drinks. Ironically, I am not big on caffeine as far as through coffee. I worked at Starbucks one time. I used to hate it. I used to hate the way it made me smell. I used to hate the beans getting under my nails, the espresso, and I hate the taste of it. But when I started to work out, I think I was working out for, you talk about doing things you love to do. I was a good 6 months into it, and you start getting more exhausted than normal. I got turned on to pre-workouts, and pre-workouts contain Caffeine. Whoa. The first time I hit a pre-workout, it was like being drunk, yo. It is, yo, if you ever had it, right? Your skin starts to sort of, you feel it vibrating, like it's pulsating, right? It's an amazing feeling, and you're basically high. And so now I transition into having also energy drinks, and that helps keep me copacetic. But the less you love what you do, the more unloved you will feel. And the more unloved you do feel. And the more unloved you feel, the more you project that onto everything you touch. Stop being selfish and self-centered. You centered self person. We talked about this. Part of why I believe so deeply into loving myself and bringing my love self everywhere. That's at minimum. Is that not what God would ask for you to do? Would you rather have a conversation with God about, yo, I became the CEO of a Fortune 10, but I fired 78 people and I did a lot of things to get me to the top that I kind of now regret. But I got there, God, I was CEO. Or would you rather be like, yo, I did everything I could to love myself every day? Every time I had an opportunity to open a door for somebody, carry somebody's bag, or just say, hey, how you doing, in a way that meant something. Or when somebody asked me, how you feeling? Ask me right now, yo, Jeff, how you feeling? Blessed. Change the response you give to people when they ask you how you doing. I'm all right. I'm cool. And even the "you good" is so non-loving. It's weak. That's also why I don't talk to people. I don't got time for your obligatory "you good." What you don't even know how I would define good. So the more you feel unloved, the more you project that into everything you touch. Your job, your family, your body, your mornings, your afternoons, your evenings, your life. You think you're functioning because you're going about your business. Everybody's doing something, even if you're doing a lot of nothing, right? You're going, you're following the machine, you're in the rat race. You're functioning, but you're actually decaying out loud. Let me tell you why I'm getting tangential today. Let me tell you what frustrated my spirit and it made me question the love I have for myself. I had an appointment today I had to reschedule. And so I called the place to reschedule. Now, I'm in this space, the medical rescheduling, the medical scheduling, the multi-specialty, hey, I need to see somebody space. I help with the IT systems that help you do these things. So there's even more emphasis on the experience for me because I help operationally drive the type of experience that make people want to be seen by medical professionals. And even deeper than that, we talked about, I just said it. All right, God, I worked at a facility that is medical and we help people. We help people every day. We help people every day get what they want. That means something to me. That's a service-driven mindset. I don't just see it as a transaction. I'm very particular. The teams that I work with and operate, more than anything, we go through a project. We had 37 issues. All of them were probably issues we could have fixed or avoided. There were unforced errors. My question is, how did you recover? How did you interface with the business? How did you provide white glove service and support to the people to make them feel comfortable and calm under pressure? Or did you just exacerbate the pressure? Did you take their frustration and hit it with your frustration? That's love-derived, service-driven mindset. Why? I love everything I do. So when I love everything I do, I take my love self everywhere. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it like I love it. Am I where I want to be as far as now that I've sort of awakened to this lifestyle? I don't receive no money from this. I'm not saying it for I guess it's effect or whatever it is. I expect it. It'll come. But right now it doesn't pay. So what am I supposed to do? Hate myself while I'm getting money somewhere else? And that's part of the dilemma I find that's fractured. We're going to get back to the phone conversation in a second, but I'm going to just really emphasize this. If you're that mad about what you're doing, clocking in and clocking out, stop collecting the check. It's conflicting. It's conflicting to your conscience. It's conflicting to your spirit. It's conflicting to your soul. It's conflicting to the way you love yourself. Okay, I love me. I love me so much that I go to a job that I hate, and then when the check comes, I complain about it for 2 weeks, but I cash it, I spend it, and I use it. Now you're gonna be like, what am I supposed to do with it? I'm not telling you to not take the money, but if you're gonna take the money, you're saying, I don't like it, but I'll accept the money. So you're selling yourself for the check. What I'm saying is, why are you complaining about it? Why are you acting unloved? But when the money comes, you act real loved. You spend it, that means you had no issues accepting it. If you had no issues accepting it, what are you complaining about? So you accept it, you're mad at it, but then you go do it again for 2 weeks to get the next check, or the week, or the day, whatever you get paid. I've stacked beans for $4 an hour. I've had as many, I've mopped floors, cleaned toilets. You know what that is to clean a public restroom? That shit sucks, my G. You know what I did though? And this is how I spun it. I like to use the bathroom like you. I would clean the shit out of the bathroom to make sure that it was spotless so I could use it. Why? I might as well love doing it. I gotta do it. But you're walking around unloved, trying to figure out why you remain unloved. You also ain't probably wrapping it up in that context. I know you're just doing what you got to do. Like all of us aren't. So the guy on the phone I spoke to, yo, he sounded like he had to have a loved moment in a decade. Every word he said to me, every word he said sounded like a punishment he hadn't earned. And that's what doing something you don't love sound like. The dude was barely audible. Thank you for calling. How can I help you? You hear yourself? So you answer phones for a living that you're trying to help people get seen because it's a medical space where people obviously are broken in some capacity. That's what it is, right? Somebody needs medical help. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, what can I help you with? Why are you calling? You know what he asked me? He said, why did you schedule an appointment? I said, I scheduled an appointment to see my doctor. He said, yeah, but why? To see my doctor. Yeah, but specifically, there's a very, very big difference. But you want to ask me in an unloved way, I'm going to respond in an unloved way. You see what I'm trying to say? And now as soon as I heard his voice, I knew it. I almost wanted to hang up and call back. Why? I don't want nothing to do with your unloved voice and spirit. That's what it sounds like when you don't, and you're doing this and you don't even know it. And what are you telling yourself over and over and over and over and over? It's short, cold, impatient, and inefficient. That was the biggest thing that I already said that I alluded to that I'll say again concisely here. I left the call feeling the same way about him that he probably felt about me. Not because of who we are, but because of how unloved his day was and how that energy traveled through the phone. It's not about a culprit. That's why I question myself. Sometimes I'm like, what would Jesus do? I wonder, did he spaz out? How much discipline do you got to have to watch somebody just deliver a massive amount of unlovingness to you while so when you're focused on love and you see something that's unloved, it irritates your soul deeply. I'm still trying to learn how to deal with that. We ain't perfect, right? That could also be an excuse. Now, when you love what you do, and I'm speaking from experience, right? Because I've been in an unloving space. I love everything about my life right now. You race back to it. I'll say it again clearly. When you love what you do, when you find something you love to do, you're racing back to it. You can't wait to do it again. What does that mean? Like, what does it feel like when you're in love with what you do? You're in love with yourself. You're like, oh, this is dope. I can't wait to. That's what the mornings turn into for me, right? I can't wait to go pray. I can't wait to go meditate. I can't wait to go script. I can't wait to go record. And then I set the tone for how I live my life. So then when I'm clocking in, I'm good. I'm a loved, massive, powerful essence of energy, vibe, and God. Just boom. I'm already in love with everything. I'm good. Nothing can really faze me unless I'm calling you and you're giving me a lot of love, right? When I'm a husband, a father, a friend. I checked in on somebody today. Like, yo, I was thinking about you, man. You good? Call me later. There's some things going on. I got to be prepared to listen with love. Because when you don't, you resent the clock and you just keep thinking 9 to 5, clock in, clock out, clock out. I'm talking about your life clock too. I was thinking about something. If you've ever dealt with loss, all of us have dealt with loss in some capacity, right? Somebody goes, and hopefully it's not too early. And people are crying, and there's a lot of love for what you just lost. But the last time it happened, one of the things I reflected on, I was watching people, right? I'm watching people, and I'm hearing them, and I'm listening to them, and I'm understanding their tears, and what it is they're talking about they're missing. What's happening is regret. You're like, duh, Jeff, somebody just dies. So you regret. But you know what permeated? You know what absolutely just jumped to the forefront for me? We're crying because we regret the time we missed with that person we lost. You hear what I'm saying? It's not that they're missing. Yes, you're sad. Yo, I'll never see this person again. But one of the reasons you're sad you never see this person again is because when you did see them, when they were there, you weren't loving them the way you were not supposed to. You weren't loving them the way you would have liked to. Otherwise, what is there to regret? I would regret, yo, I miss what we had. I miss what we had. Most people are missing what they did not have. Why? Because when you were on the clock, you were too busy not loving that person, not checking in on them the correct way that at least shows love. And now that they're gone, it's not, I won't get them back. I won't get them back. Why? I won't get back what I missed, not what I'm missing. When I'm missing it, it's because it's so deep and so powerful and so loved. You can almost rejoice in, oh my God, everything I had with that person was beautiful. I love them as much as I can for as long as I could. I'm going to miss that. But I can still have a level of appreciation of, yo, at least while I had them, I held them tight. But we release everything. We release our love. We act unloved. We treat unloved. And then we miss the love that we can't get back, not because we had it, because we never had it. We just had the saying of it. And so we cry and we regret. That's why people talk about, oh, I wasn't there. Oh, I should have. Oh, and it's so much. That's very self-centered too. Forgetting also that person is missing out on the opportunity to receive love. When you don't, when you love what you do, you race back to it. When you don't, you resent the clock. And the clock is always ticking on your life. Thank you, God, I'm alive today. The people, the process, everything. Loving what you do doesn't just improve performance. Excuse me. I think it's one of the side effects, right? It enhances presence. Most of you, we talk about this here. You're unpresently present. You're there, but you're like empty air, empty energy. Nobody even recognizes or knows you're there. You're just there. You're just taking up space. Presence is being felt. Presence is being available. Presence is being aware. Presence is being locked in. When you love more, when you love yourself more, you lock in so much on yourself that you're like, if I'm here with this person, I'm not going to not lock in. I'd be doing myself a disservice. It's a disservice to me to give you my time and not maximize my time and be fully focused on you and giving you mad love. Sometimes the love is hard. Sometimes it's harsh. Sometimes I say some things you may not really want to hear. Sometimes I got to hear some things I don't really want to hear. We all go through that. But it enhances the presence. You will walk away from me with an experience, a loving one. You'll be like, yo, you know what? Jeff might be somewhat of a, but you know what? He meant it out of love. So even when I have something to do that I may not love, I don't love everything I do. I'm not ecstatic about everything I have to do in life, but I'm ecstatic about life, so I love doing it. Essentially, I've trained myself to show up to everything in a loving way. Every time I show up, that's why you can't just request my presence. That's why my phone is on Do Not Disturb from certain times. That's why if you're not already locked into my circle, I'm not really talking to you right now. Yo, but I've been trying to call you. I don't have time. Why? I'm busy being me, the way I need to be me. And if I pivot to you, I got to give you mad love. I may not have the love for you right now. That's okay. The alternative is I show up in a non-loving way and I waste your time and my time. That's egregious to me. That's cutoff material. Like if I'm reaching out and I need you to show me love and you show me like you're performing like, oh, I'm supposed to do this because we're family. Oh, I'm supposed to do this because no. I don't got time for that. You're not supposed to do anything. There's nothing you're supposed to do. You either show up because you're loving yourself or you show up because you don't love yourself enough to show up. So I've trained myself. I always show up with love, which is the same way I disappear in love. If I'm out of your life right now, it's because I love you enough to know I would not be of benefit to you. I don't provide my presence if I can't give you something that you would need. I'm taking from you. I've eliminated that part of selfishness and self-centeredness. I can't center myself in you, so I can't be centered with you. I remove myself. Now look, as far as training yourself to show up in a loving way, I believe if I'm building a life I love, then I better learn how to love how I build it brick by brick. Everything I do has to permeate love. And I learned this by stacking little micro things of love and then returning to it and then returning to it. And then you want to scale it. I assure you, if you find something you really love to do, I'm talking about that you love to do, not what somebody told you to love, not what you think you'll love so it can take you out of poverty. I'm talking about real, authentic, genuine love. If you find that, what you're going to find when you find that is that it feels so good. Why wouldn't you want to keep repeating that? That's why I feel uncomfortable talking about this sometimes. But then I come to the realization that we can't be thinking what we're thinking about. We can't be loving what we say we love, because if you did, you wouldn't do the things you didn't love to do. You wouldn't think the things that you didn't need to think. You wouldn't choose to live how you're choosing to live. Are you going to say you're not choosing how you live your life? Is it not your choice? If it is, why wouldn't you love doing it? If you're going to show up, show up. And if you're having difficulty showing up, it's because you have to find something you love. Anything, man. There's something for everybody. Write, read, walk, talk. Find something you love. Then do it as frequently as possible. And when you do it as frequently as possible, you build your habits, mindset, and muscle around that love. You can build a love muscle. Oh, my bad, Jeff. They don't sell t-shirts. And you ain't gonna sign up for $109.99. I just raised my prices. It used to be $99.99. Pretty soon will be, let me just stop there. Love is a muscle. Love is a muscle. Love is a muscle. Because when you lead with love, even the hard things don't feel like punishment. It just feels like process. And every system in the universe will start unlocking itself for you. Not because it suddenly makes sense, but because you do. You become the loved one, and the loved one always walks different. So start loving your life by actually loving what you do. And the do that you need to do is just to do it as you. Do you for you. And love it. You're only going to be this you for whatever time you got on this clock to be the you are right now. And I assure you, God wanted me to tell you, it's more than enough. You own it or be owned by it. You either run the system or the system runs you. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich. Choose love.